1100 RPM. And parking brake set. Then runner parking brake is set, oil temperature is slightly positive, the choke is off, zone behind aircraft, left and behind is clear, right and behind is clear. Then engine set to 1700 RPM. Then check oil pressure is in the green. Then the magneto check. Magneto's left, engine drops 100 RPM, boat rises 100 RPM, right magneto drops 100 RPM, left magneto no difference, both magnetos RPM rises 100 again. Then the carb heat on, 10 seconds, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Check function. Propeller, 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Check function. Throttle idle. Then the range is between 7 and 900 RPM. We have Hotel 900 RPM.
Begin right downwind runway 26.
And
final.
Engine set to 1100 RPM. Run-up is completed. Then check before departure. Electric fuel pump on. The fuel quantity is 3 hours. Fuel shuttle valve open. Open, propeller is of max RPM. The carb heat is off. Magnetos are on both. The annunciator lights are all off. The trim is checked and set for departure. The flaps 1, flaps 2, flaps 1. Flaps checked and set for departure. Then we have the controls. Left aileron up, elevator not visible but clear. Right aileron up, elevators working and the engine controls clear and correct. Flight instruments and avionics are all set for departure. And the departure briefing is for BIRRFELD Aerodrome 1300 feet. Runway in use is runway 26 and the wind is a slight tailwind coming from the left with about 2 knots. The surface is concrete and the conditions are dry. The ground roll distance is about 300 meters and available runway length is 645 meters. We have the procedure now today is the solo circuits, the 3rd time solos, and we have the speeds of 45 knots for rotation, 58 knots for VX climb speed, and VY is 65 knots. In case of any emergency before takeoff, we take the throttle back and brake. In case of engine failure after takeoff, we put the nose down and land straight ahead as good as possible. No return to the field before reaching circuit altitude, which is 2000 feet. The speed for best glide is 70 knots. The departure briefing is completed and the check before departure is completed.
Hotel X-ray Quebec, request radio check.
Then taxi area left and right is clear. Brakes released. And
Quebec, loud and
power set.
Hotel X-ray Quebec, thanks.
On left turn, direction gyro increases. The wings are left, ball right. Then the brakes and steering are checked. Gyro instruments are checked. Taxi check is completed.
Mike Charlie simulated engine failure and crosswind. Short approach runway 08, opposite direction. Mike Charlie.
Takeoff power set. Then minimum 2400 RPM. And the speed is rising. (40 knots, 45 knots, rotate. VX established, 2400 RPM. Clear obstacles, speed minimum VX is checked and flaps up and accelerate to VY 65 knots.
BIRRFELD aerodrome, Hotel Bravo Papa, Oscar Foxtrot, radio check.
Climb check, flaps up, climb power, full speed and 2400 RPM. Then electric fuel pump off, landing lights off, climb check is completed.
Auto Golf Mike, beginning right and downwind, runway 26 for touch and go.
Reaching 2000 feet, level off, accelerate to 70 knots, then power reduction 21 inch and 2100 RPM. And trim. Approach check. Altimeter QNH is 1025 at 2000 feet. Lookout. Landing lights on and electric fuel pump on. Lookout. Fuel is 3 hours and the carb heat is on. Approach check is completed. Beam threshold, speed right arc is checked, flaps 1 and nose down to avoid ballooning. Then power reduction, 15 inch, nose down and right turn. And speed wide arc checked and flaps 2 and nose down to avoid ballooning. Then approach sector, glider, final, clear. Base speed is 65 knots. Right turn. Then the center line is checked. Glide path is checked. Rim. 60 knots. Landing check, flaps it for landing. Prop marks, carb heat off. Landing check is completed.
Auto Golf Mike, final runway 26 for touch and go.
Aiming point, speed. Aiming point, speed. Aiming point speed power cut. Go around.
Hotel Bravo, Charlie X-ray Quebec, line up for takeoff, runway 26, outbound sector west.
2400.